If you'd have told me 8 years ago when I was in Congress that Black Lives Matter, I probably would have reflexively fired back at you, no, John, all lives matter. But I've learned, I've opened my eyes, I was mistaken, I listened to Black Americans, and I understand why it's important to say Black Lives Matter. Now, why don't more conservatives say that yet? Because they're in this sea of disinformation and conspiracy that doesn't allow them to. They've got people like Hannity and Tucker Carlson riling them up every day, John. I used to be in that business, conservative talk radio. It's all about pissing off your audience, and that's what Tucker and Hannity and all the rest of them do. It's a real problem for the whole country.
Yes, it's real, and it's a problem, and for the whole country. There's, conservative extremists. I don't know if you've been out of your bubble, like the bubble of reason and logic and, comprehension and thinking, reading, understanding the world around you. I don't know if you've left that bubble that protects you from ignorance, but the right-wing lunatic fringe, the conservatives, they're rallying around Derek Chauvin. They're rallying around. I mean, too bad, he's in jail, because he could go on tour along with Matt Gaetz. He could, raise some serious money for the Republican Party along with, Donald Trump. He can go, if Chauvin wasn't in jail, he could join, I don't know, Kyle Rittenhouse. And where the hell is Kyle Rittenhouse? Where did he go? See what I mean? Mike Lindell. All these dudes. And of course you have to bring Kyle. You got to, get a new generation activated to hate, because hate has to be taught. And they're very good at. I don't know if you've left the bubble, but the crap that's being spewed over there on those, bizarro news channels, it's really, really ugly and scary and dangerous. It's really offensive, okay? Really freaking offensive.
Everyone understood perfectly well the consequences of an acquittal in this case. After nearly a year of burning and looting and murder by BLM, that was never in doubt. Last night, 2,000 miles from Minneapolis, police in Los Angeles preemptively blocked roads. Why? They knew what would happen if Derek Chauvin got off.
Injustice?
In the end, he didn't get off. If given the maximum sentence under the law, he will spend the rest of his life in prison. Is that a fair punishment? Is the officer guilty of the specific crimes for which he was just convicted? We can debate all that, and over this hour we will.
We can debate it?
But here's what we can't debate. No mob has the right to destroy our cities. Not under any circumstances, not for any reason.
Insert pictures of January 6th Capitol insurrection here. Yeah, it's really twisted. This is really freakish. This is really bizarre. They should just throw Chauvin under the bus and move along. But they won't do it. They won't do it. Chauvin is now their new hero. We should debate what a jury actually found. We should debate that. We should debate whether poor Eric Nelson had any defense at all for Derek Chauvin's nonchalant, confident, sneering into a camera as he snuffed out the life of a man whose great crime was buying a pack of cigarettes with a $20 bill that may or may not have been legit. I've never seen any evidence about whether that 20 was real or not. Have you? I never have. I never have. But, in talking to some of my friends, they said, I once got a counterfeit 20 and I got it from the bank. I did not know that. I've never had a counterfeit 20 that was ever flagged. I've had people hold them up to lights. I've had them take some sort of a marker and, draw on them. But, if you ask cashiers if they actually know what they're looking for, they'll say, no, I really don't. So we don't know anything about that. But anyway, why are they doing this? Why are they following and embracing someone like Derek Chauvin, who clearly murdered somebody? Maybe because their dear leader is a man who presided over the death of 500,000 Americans. Maybe they have no problem with death. Maybe this whole pro-life thing was really a ruse. Maybe it was a lie. Maybe it wasn't true after all. Maybe it wasn't. because, the embrace, and it's all over this channel. I mean, here's Laura Ingraham saying, no one will be a cop anymore. No one will be a cop anymore. So Derek Chauvin is now her martyr, okay? No one will be a cop anymore. I heard that from so many of these lunatic-y, Fox people. No one will be. Why? Because you're not allowed to stare into a camera and kill somebody, commit murder in front of children in this country. You're not allowed to do that. I mean, this is what she said.
Who wants to be a police officer under these circumstances?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I wouldn't be a police officer today, and I love being a police officer. It was an honorable thing to do. I served and protected my community with my life. I put my whole family aside for many nights, many years, just to make sure our community was safe. And now they'll throw you away. They won't even give you any credit for the amount of people you've saved if you make a mistake.
Away.
And it's all because of a political agenda. I really wish that people would have a balanced conversation with these matters. I think that there's a room to improve in policing. I was a police officer. I trained police officers. I was on the SWAT team. We can always improve. But also we need to reach out to the community and say, can we stop resisting arrest? Can we stop disobeying the police? And these political pundits, these political talking heads, they want you to fight the police. They want you to be killed. So they can make all this money. They can promote it on the news. They can get a payout with the family, and you're going to be dead as a doornail.
Wow. 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 I mean, it goes beyond making Chauvin into a martyr, but actually demonizing people who want, the racism removed from the policing. It's just so unbelievable to me. I mean, it's like deny everything that you saw, deny everything the jury found, deny everything that was proven, deny all the testimony from the toxicologist, from the pulmonologist, from the supervisor that trained Derek Chauvin, deny that you heard from, the chief of police. Deny that you heard from the chief of police in Minneapolis that, this is nothing we teach. This man was a bizarre human being. This man literally had gotten away with it so many times that he felt that he would always be able to get away with it. And you know what? There are now stories of the other Chauvin encounters that are being printed in newspapers across this country. Reuters, which is a wire service where, newspapers rerun AP stories, Reuters stories, McClatchy stories, things like that. Okay, so Reuters went out and they did a look-see at some of the other victims, some of the other people who had encounters with Derek Chauvin. Either they were a witness to his use of force or they were a victim of his policing. And not one of the 17 complainants, not one of the 17 said they had any sympathy for Derek Chauvin. Now, what's really interesting, we had a call yesterday from a guy who said, how come, George Floyd's past behavior, he called it sordid past behavior, but I'll refrain from saying that being addicted to prescription drugs because of something that a doctor prescribed for an injury is sordid. But I got what he meant. He meant, how come George Floyd's prior behavior or his addiction was admitted and Chauvin's past abuse of power or his bad policing was not allowed in? So I told him it's because the prosecution, I said it backwards to him yesterday, I had to apologize, but the prosecution brought up George Floyd's fight with addiction so that they would have control of the narrative, and the poor Eric defense for Chauvin wouldn't have control over that narrative, right? And the judge ruled that the prior bad behavior of Chauvin, he said that you could introduce 2 of the episodes of bad policing by Chauvin, but you know what? The prosecution didn't bring up any of it. They didn't need it. And that's why you didn't hear anything about it. Now, I didn't realize that until I actually went and researched it.